humble, loyal, supportive. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Olori, Aderonke, Ademiluyi, Ogunwusi. And I'm for You're welcome, man.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the First Lady of Osun State, in the person of Ademiluyi Ademiluyi. On behalf of my husband, His Imperial Majesty the Oni of Ife, and the entire Royal House of Oduduwa, I welcome you to the court of the Oduduwa. I can say this is your second home because you are a mother of Osun State. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion as our special guest. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, kindly permit me to stand on existing protocol. I'm Olori Ademiluyi Ogunwusi. I'm the founder of Africa Fashion Week London, Africa Fashion Week Nigeria, the co-founder of Africa Fashion Week Brazil. I'm an African textile and fashion expert. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm an author. I'm a global ambassador of Yoruba culture, and I'm a law graduate. Thank you. And today I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my Africa fashion story and how it's become a sustainable business. But first and foremost, I would like to commend the great efforts of Dr. Tewa in putting this event together. I've known her for nearly 2 decades now, and she's full of passion and vision for the female gender. So Dr. Tewa, thank you very much for bringing this event to Ife. We're really grateful. I'm going to tap into so many things that Dr. Tewa has said about the mindset, because it really helped me when I was starting the Africa Fashion Week brand. Africa Fashion Week London is the biggest festival of African fashion in the UK, and it's in its 13th edition now, and it's holding in October to celebrate Black History Month. It was born 13 years ago out of an urgent need and a moral obligation to provide a platform for African designers to showcase their creativity. It was established specially for fashion entrepreneurs, and we have so many of them. The platform was created for their sustainability and for them to be stable, because for creativity to grow, there needs to be a platform that supports its growth. Just like Ibukun said, our social media expert, when we have things, we have to expose it. As we all know, that every idea starts with a thought, just like Dr. Tewa said, and it's the ability to turn that thought into reality that makes our projects real. So, in 2010, I decided to host an Africa Fashion Week as part of the celebrations of Nigeria at 50. So I put a powerful presentation together with key points on why such a platform like Africa Fashion was needed urgently. I packed my bags and I headed to Abuja with my team to meet the committee of Nigeria at 50. I had no contacts in Abuja, no family in Abuja, no friends there, so myself and my team stayed in a hotel, and we went from office to office to present our proposal, both to the private sector and the public sector. This we did for nearly 6 months. But back then, no one really understood what the business of African fashion was. So they were not interested in supporting because they didn't see any ROI, they just didn't see any sense in it. They thought African fashion, or they thought the fashion industry was for the lowest of the low in the society. I remember when I was growing up, I actually wanted to study fashion, but I was told that it wasn't a lucrative profession, so I wasn't allowed to study fashion. So after exhausting all the funds in Abuja, we moved back to Lagos because we had no luck. So we moved back to Lagos. At this point, my fashion retail business called Rookies, because I had 6 stores in Lagos then called Rookies, had suffered, almost collapsed due to my absence. So out of frustration, I decided to go back to London for a break. I went to London because London is like a second home to me because I was born there and I grew up there. While in London, I was invited to an African party and decided to shop for a ready-to-wear African outfit. But lo and behold, I could not find a single ready-to-wear African outfit. Because unlike now, back then, African fashion was not as popular as it is now. And it was so difficult to get a ready-to-wear African outfit. So I instantly realized that there was a gap in the industry, and I decided to seize that opportunity and bridge the gap, and that's how I started the Africa Fashion Week in London. I started my research. I spoke with so many African and Afro-Caribbean designers across the UK and found out that they were not included in the mainstream fashion industry. Therefore, they had no visibility, they had no awareness, and no platform to support their growth. So it was based on this research that I started putting plans together to host the first edition of Africa Fashion Week in London. But just like my experience in Abuja, I faced stumbling blocks in many areas. I shared my concept of an Africa Fashion Week with a couple of people in London, and the response I got was no. No one buys Africa fashion in London. I was even advised to remove Africa from the Fashion Week and change the name. But I had this gut feeling that it was going to work. So I decided to stick with my gut feeling because it was what I wanted. And like Dr. Tewa said, you must be intentional about what you want. Lack of funds was a major stumbling block to the project, as I had to raise funds in the UK. But in my course of trying to raise funds, investment and funding, I found out, according to statistics, that 95% of investment and funding goes towards the white man, 5% goes towards the white woman, and 0.3% is what is allocated towards black women. So my chances of getting funding to support the event was almost impossible. And all my proposals came back with a no. However, I did not let that deter me because I was determined. I wasn't going to give up. So I returned to Nigeria and sold what was left of my Rookie's retail business, and I found like-minded people to collaborate with me in so many areas. Because there's this Africa saying that says, when you want to go far, you go with people, you go with others. Collaboration is really key. Collaboration really helped me in going far. It requires the support of others. And I was able to achieve so many things, so collaboration really contributed to the success of the first edition of Africa Fashion Week London. And to the glory of God, we had the first edition of the Africa Fashion Week London in August 2011. It was a huge success with over 4,500 visitors in attendance and 60 African brands on the runway. And like I mentioned earlier, it's now in its 13th year. Africa Fashion Week London is the largest and most consistent Africa Fashion Week. Its success has inspired the growth of so many Africa Fashion Weeks globally. And we have contributed over £1 million to the economy, the creative economy of the UK. It is now a household name in the UK and Europe that people look forward to every year to come and see the best fashion from the African continent. We have showcased over 2,000 fashion brands from 26 African countries and directly and indirectly showcased them to a global audience of nearly 1 million. We constantly work with trade and investment councils in Africa to help their designers access international markets. I was intentional about what I wanted to do, and I have been able to do it and do it consistently and sustainably. Thank you. In 2014, we moved back to Nigeria, where we were rejected, to set up the first Africa Fashion Week Nigeria. In 2023, I became the co-founder of Africa Fashion Week Brazil. And next year, we're expanding to the US and South America. Thank you. And beyond fashion, we have evolved into a brand that promotes social change for African fashion creatives, especially women, through our various initiatives, like our mentoring scheme program that we started with the University of Northampton in the UK, their Department of Fashion, and also Afwl University here. We work with their textile and design department with the students there. We also collaborated for the Fashion Futures online learning program with Parsons Design School, New York, and Henley's Business School, UK. We also have invested in vocational training skills through our Aderonke Textile Hub training program, where we train young women and where we train women and young people through the support of our benefactor, His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife. Thank you. Not to say that I didn't have challenges, but I always look for a solution and try to tackle all of these challenges. One of my biggest challenges was finding the right team whose goals align with yours. Over the years, I have worked with so many people who just come to shadow what I do and start their own. In your mind, you think that you're paying them to work with you, but they're busy collecting all your contacts. But I've been able to tackle that because right now I make them sign NDAs and confidentiality documents. That's where my law skills comes into place. There was also the challenge of sustainability. For years, after I started Africa Fashion Week London, I was so passionate about the platform, and I was giving it out to designers for free, and I would end up in debt paying all the vendors. I even had to sell my flat in the UK to sustain the event. Whenever you're starting a project, whether it's an NGO or a business, you must always identify a return on investment on that project. You must always identify how to make it sustainable. If you don't do that, you will burn out or you will end up in debt. So don't be overshadowed with passion. Always identify a return on investment, and that is how investors would come in, because they would want to see when you go out to do a presentation. And I think that was what affected my presentation in Abuja then. There was no ROI, I didn't put any sustainability measures into it. I was just overshadowed, with my passion to start a fashion week. But most importantly, I would like to say, never give up on your dreams. Be greedy for your ambitions. Be fearless. Explore new opportunities. Be bold. Take risks. And even if you fall, you will always rise again. And just like Dr. Tewa said, thank you. Just like Dr. Tewa said, have positive affirmations. Every day when I wake up, I have positive affirmations. First, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the breath in my lungs. I'm grateful for breathing another new breath daily. And then I do my affirmations. I say, today is going to be a great day for me. Today is going to be a wonderful day for me. And then I talk about my business. I say to myself, whatever business you're doing today, Aderonke, you're going to make money from it. I say that to myself every day. Whatever business you're doing, whatever initiative you're doing today, you're going to make money. I say to myself, all the doors that need to be opened are going to be open for you today. And all the ones that need to be closed, God is going to slam them shut today. So thank you very much, and you're welcome once again.
Ladies and gentlemen.